This week, the Texas Department of Public Safety issued a bulletin warning that a review of ISIS social media messaging indicates they're showing interest in trying to sneak across the southwest border from Mexico for a terror attack inside the U.S. The warning that ISIS might be pondering the idea of terrorist attacks in the U.S. after infiltrating the country by crossing in from Mexico comes less than 2 weeks before the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks.
All right, folks, not very comforting. Joining us now is Jim Gilchrist. He's co-founder and president of the Minuteman Project. Hey, Jim.
Hi, Steve. Thank you for having me on your program.
It's my pleasure, and it's an honor to have you on because you guys care so much, and I mean that. I'm not, trying to talk down to you in any way. You do care. You care about the border. You care about the security of the country. Sometimes I believe more than some of our elected officials do. In fact, I know that, or at least I think I know that. Anyway, when you hear that report. And I've had Senator Dan Coates, and I've had others, Congressman Peter King, and I'm not putting words in their mouth, but I'll paraphrase. Yeah, that southern border, even before we started talking about ISIS, Hamas, Hezbollah, whatever you want to say, there's a huge probability that they've already come across that border and are here in this country.
Oh, Steve, I have no doubt that there are elements of Al-Qaeda and ISIS scattered throughout the country. There are not enough of them to wreak the havoc in the United States that they have done in Syria and Iraq. But all they have to do is carry out another 9/11, and I think that's their intention. I personally don't think their targets are El Paso or Brownsville, Texas, or San Diego, California. They want the big body targets. They want a elementary school, 800 kids killed. They want a synagogue or a cathedral in New York City, 5,000 people killed on a Sunday, worshiping Saturday or Sunday. They want a large body count. This is what they seem to prefer. And no one knows. No one's keeping tally of who's coming in or out of that border. Of course, more people by the millions are coming in from the Mexican border than being deported back out. Border Patrol apprehends only about 1 out of 4 of those persons attempting to enter the United States through that porous border with Mexico. I estimate about 2.4 million people have come across into the United States and are currently here just in the last fiscal year, bringing the total of illegal aliens occupying U.S. territory to a little over 30 million. It's a large number to try to digest, but in my opinion, it is at least 30 million.
Yeah, and that is very, very frightening. And you mentioned, we're not here to talk about terrorism, but you mentioned, and they're all horrific scenarios, what their goals are. When you talk about school, last Monday, Labor Day, was the 10th anniversary of what happened in Beslan, the school there in Russia, with the Chechnyan terrorists killing over 300 people and almost half of them young children in that hostage siege that ended so horrifically.
That's exactly the scenario I'm talking about. Law enforcement is well aware of what their intentions are, the intentions of, I'm going to call them the enemy. And they are certainly a warlike enemy. I wish it wasn't so, but this is the 21st century, and this is how a lot of disenfranchised people and hate mongers around the globe carry out their agendas. And some of them, unfortunately, are in the United States, and we're going to find out as soon as they present themselves. Unfortunately for us, there will be no warning. They are that clever. I'm a little wary of federal law enforcement. I get most of my information, my trusted information, from sheriff's departments along the border. Sheriffs are elected. They do not answer to someone. City police chiefs are appointed by the city council, the Department of Homeland Security, like Janet Napolitano, the previous head of that security department. They're all appointed. They are instructed to speak the party line, even though it may not be true. It's essentially propaganda to make people like me go away, I guess. But sheriffs are elected. They answer directly to the people. They have nothing to be afraid of. They cannot lose their jobs. So they are more reliable, in my opinion. And that's because we have a government that operates like Russian caste. And here's the official party line. This is what you say and say no more. And don't conjecture. Don't come to your own conclusions. You just say this. And I think that's a horrible way to run our federal law enforcement.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What are you hearing from your folks and what they're seeing on the border, the southern border? I mean, you know, what seems to be off the pages right now because there's so much going on in the world and in this country, it changes from day to day. But the quote-unquote kids, who we know most of them are middle-aged or upper teenagers, who came across, who are still, I believe, coming across, who were housed there in those camps where congressmen couldn't even get in to see them, and now they've been dispersed all over the country. Are these quote-unquote kids still coming in at that same rate that they were coming in when we were all talking about it?
Steve, no one seems to know. Certainly members of Border Patrol know, but they too are instructed, see nothing, say nothing, tell nothing. What is going on with our federal government? I don't understand. You know what it is? They've made us all, you, me, your audience, feel like we are Americans without a country. And it's starting to really anger us. Doesn't mean we're going to engage in violence. We're just going to keep driving this issue. We want more transparency from the government. We want more security on that border. I'll be down at that border in 2 weeks with a major network. I was down there about 4 weeks ago, 2.5 hours before even one Border Patrol agent showed up to ask us why we were there along that fence, what we were doing. A year ago, when I would bring media down there, we had 24 Border Patrol agents on top of us within 2 minutes of our presence on that border. It was great coverage. They were really sealing that border. But now apparently they're all changing diapers and babysitting in McAllen, Texas. I know of ICE officers who have been dispatched to McAllen, Texas, instead of going after criminals, severely serious criminals who are illegal aliens. They've been dispatched to change.
All right, I think.
Agents.
All right, well, I think Jim. I hope you're still there. I think we had a little.
I'm here, Steve.
Yeah. Okay.
I tend to blather and digress. I'm sorry.
No. We had a little problem with the connection there, but you're back. Let me ask you, Jim, about this pending executive order by the president regarding, some call it amnesty, the illegals who are already here. Obviously, he's waiting till after the midterms because he knows this is not what the American people want, and he knows it would just spark even more outrage among conservatives throughout the country to show up in November. But when that is signed, as I believe it will be signed, what is that going to mean for your area, for the border areas? And yeah, we talked a lot about what it means for the country, but what does it mean? Is this another neon sign saying, come on in, just get in here illegally or any way you can, and see, you'll be able to stay just like these people?
Steve, yes, exactly. The president and the Democratic Party, of which I used to be a member of. Now you know why I no longer have anything to do with the Democratic Party, because of these kind of shenanigans. The usurpation of the law, the twisting and bending and convoluted attempts to twist the true meaning of the Constitution of the United States. Thank God we have at least half of the Republicans in this country who want to bring us back under the rule of law. Essentially, we're a nation that is lawless insofar as our immigration laws are concerned. This is a politically inspired ploy by the Democratic Party, and it's been going on for decades to lure as many people from all around the world. It doesn't matter whether they're here legally or illegally. Lure them in. My immigration legal advisor counsels me with the following. 5 years after amnesty is given to the illegal aliens, they will become voting citizens. And more likely than not, at least 90% of them are going to support the Democratic Party. And for the first time in the history of the United States, we will be a solid one-party system. It's the same kind of system they have in China. It's called one-party communism. This is offensive. What are we going to do? We can't do anything. We have a tyrannical government and a wayward Congress who for the past few decades have let this happen. Why? I leave you with this mantra. You and your audience and me, we are essentially Americans without a country. And what are we going to do about it? We can't take up arms. We'll be shot dead in the street. We use the First Amendment to peacefully engage in bringing our grievances forward, and no one listens to us.
Jim, well said, and I thank you for the time. Great to talk to you. We'll speak to you soon, sir.
Steve, thank you. Take care.
You too. Jim Gilchrist, ladies and gentlemen. And when we come back, it's the one, the only. Give me 5. Don't miss it.